Good morning and welcome to another day in the gold stock bull market. I'd like to look at some charts of stocks that I own, or actually with the exception of Wesdome, Royal Gold, Newmont, I own. And I'd just like to take a quick technical look, starting with daily charts, and then as needed we'll expand out and give a quick update based on what I see. Just as with the last update on a bunch of markets and market indicators, I don't really know what I'm going to see in this chart list. I just want to react to it and give my quick impressions. These are, to the best of my ability, quality gold stocks through my own research and very often through the research of people I trust, associates and whatnot. Also, I'm not including some of the more speculative, what I call basket items, which are tend to be TSXV components, hole drillers, explorers, lottery tickets, I guess you'd say. I'm not including those, although Skeena here could be verging on the borderline of that. Anyway, let's move on. AEM, which I have held forever and a day, obviously very nice uptrend along the 50-day moving average. It's completely normal as long as it holds above that moving average. Someday there will be a correction and a test of the 200-day average. There's nothing to indicate that today is that day or that day is imminent. Very bullish stock. Let's look. Yeah, so it's just been robo trending upward since pretty much helping lead the sector out of the correction that began. Do I have to go back and look at that? Yeah, so back in 2021 or so, 2020. Okay, so let's move on. Alamos Gold, I'm a little more skeptical of this one. The only reason I haven't sold it, quite frankly, is that it's in a taxable account and I don't want to incur the taxes because, well, it's been knocked down anyway. Certainly not an overbought stock. It's probably neutral, positive bias. I've heard a couple things about management I'm not in love with, but that's getting away from the technicals. Right now, this is a good-looking consolidation sliding along above the uptrending 200-day moving average. So I'm just going to hang on to it as long as I feel that the gold stock bull market phase is, or this phase of the bull market is fully intact. Not bad though. I mean, this stock deserved a cool down. It too has been in a robo uptrend, got a little too enthusiastic up here. That's actually looking like a bullish consolidation. B2 Gold is one that I consider a value in the sector, but it also has some risk, country risk, Mali, which has been at least partially repaired. And it's got the Goose project in Canada, which will be ramping up. And I just think this is a stock to hang on to as a catch-up turnaround play. Here's, well, it's kind of a mess here on the chart. When I get rid of these moving averages, it clears up a little bit. So I originally looked at it with this falling wedge type thing. It broke the wedge. It broke a lateral or parallel channel. And it's in an uptrend since, or for all of this year, since January of 2025. Not bad, I say, for a potential turnaround catch-up play for B2 Gold. EQX, talk about turnarounds. This was a chronic underperformer, a chronic disappointer of its advocates, and somehow I just happened to take a spec on it last week or whatever it was before this thing here, I guess gambled that this time they wouldn't gross out the market at earnings, and they didn't. So it looks like a turnaround fundamentally, execution-wise, is in progress. And the buy was somewhere fudging around here above the moderately uptrending moving averages. And we can see that it's been grinding upward. The stock has wanted to prove itself. It has wanted to turn itself around. Obviously, there was some enthusiasm back here. I don't know what that was about because I was not paying attention to it. What I care about is what's happening now. And it looks like they are on track, and the stock has broken out above these previous highs, which was very nice. That looks like an impulsive move. And obviously, the breakout point is now the key support. Kinross is another one I've held forever during this bull market. It's just went vertical. The market loved its earnings and revenue growth. I'm just holding on. It too is in a taxable account. I don't feel like selling it. Very bullish. And it's also something of a turnaround as well on the bigger picture. Yeah, look, it's making up for lost ground. This is what happens when a company actually gets its operations together. As did Newmont, which I do not own anymore. I sold it too soon, but not too sad about that. Looking bullish, big picture. You know, this is headed for a new high, I'm pretty sure. It's been in a bull market for pretty much forever. Very volatile bull market. The objective here is a new high. Okay, let's move on to another turnaround candidate, or another turnaround that has already occurred. I've held New Gold for quite a while and added a second position on this pullback to support. I'm not going to talk about gaps, by the way, in this update. I could get lost in that whole thing. Gaps they have their place in the analysis, but not right now. They don't, you can get lost obsessing on them and have your focus taken away. The key here is, yeah, there's a turnaround, all right. Let's look at the very big picture. So this was bought as a bottom base operational turnaround, get Rainy River up to speed, and, let's play some catch up, and that's what it's doing. So I could put this right up here and say that's the first level of support, second, third. Again, someday these things are going to test their uptrending 200-day moving averages. We just don't know when that day is, although the HUI index, as of written in several articles, is approaching the big picture target of 500 plus or minus. So let's look at a couple royalties here. I sold Royal Gold. I had held it. I believe I incurred the little tank job here after it purchased Sandstorm, and I didn't have a good handle on how good a deal that was. So I was still profitable, took the profit, and then bought it back again as it, well, you know what? I don't want to speak out of turn. I can't remember what I did, but there was sell, buy, sell, some real casino patron stuff going on there. But the point is, I had bought it again around here at support, sold it on this most recent leg up, and again, with Sandstorm in tow, I'm not sure about it. I don't really care to look into it too deeply. But what I cared about was selling this rally and buying prime gold and silver royalty, Wheaton Precious Metals, WPM, on this pullback. Now, this is a very richly valued precious metal stock, but it deserves that valuation. You know, I mean, in a stock market full of overvalued pigs, why shouldn't we have a leader in the precious metals reliably marching up its 50-day moving average uptrend? Again, the 200-day average is way down there. It will be tested someday. I don't know when. But I preferred to have this sector leader over this waffling, volatile, whatever it is. I mean, that's a quality stock, but I traded it out for Wheaton. Moving on. Here's a mine developer, Rio2, RIO.V on the TSXV. Yeah, so I have held it for quite a long time, added a second position, much like with New Gold, on this decline to the 50-day average. Then it ticked a new high. I'm expecting that it's going to hold above this last pullback. It's on a pullback right now. It's at immediate support. More support would be the 50-day moving average. Skeena, I had taken profits, and then on this one too, I got a little grabby and added back shares on this pullback. It then went up again and did not make a new high, unlike Rio. So it's looking a little waffly here. I'm not sure about it, but and the volume is kind of bear flaggy. So that bears watching, I guess. I've had committed to hold the shares I still held after I made a partial sale. But then I did add back shares. I'll just have to evaluate whether I want to hold on to those shares or not. But I haven't looked into the stock at all, into the company, to see why it might want to flop here. So let's just take my words, my scattery words out of this and say that we want to see this little candle hold above this point here in the very short term. We'd like to see it reclaim the 50-day moving average. And again, the last test of the 200-day moving average was way back here in April. So make a higher high to get out of technical issues. Here's another royalty that a trusted source brought to my attention. And I bought it on this consolidation flag, and it dutifully broke upward to a new high. Triple flag precious metals. Initial support right here at 25, gap, more support at the 50-day moving average, and off you go. It's a quality precious metals, gold and silver royalty, according to my source and to what I have seen myself, and I'm holding on to it. Wesdome, the dome, he of the frequent disappointments. You know, I think there are a lot of people rooting for this stock, or I don't want to say obsessing on it, but I notice it gets a lot of attention, but it has not performed. I mean, it deserves attention with its location, its property. There's just something not right here, and I don't know what it is, and I haven't had the time or the inclination to look into it as far as execution goes, but it's not doing what the market expects, at least not yet. Earnings, looks like we have a little fade in revenues. Earnings were okay, but again, I think the market had different expectations. Anyway, as a technical analyst, my view has been to wait for 1050 or so, a test of this pattern support. So I know it's a decent company with decent prospects, possibly excellent prospects one day, if management follows through on what its investor base is expecting. However, as a TA, I say give me 1050, or at least a test of the 200-day moving average, and then some good views on the execution, the fundamental execution of the company, and then I will be interested. Meanwhile, that's an ugly looking chart. I guess you could read a head and shoulders into it, but I think it's just a downward consolidation, failure at the 50-day average, and it really wants a test of the 200-day average, if not the top of the pattern. And so we did WPM already. That brings us to the end, and thank you for listening and watching.